Thanks, Council, for your consideration of this amendment. I want to be clear to everybody today that I had no misconceptions around Council's support for this. My objective today was to ensure that Calgarians had a very clear picture of the trade-offs and the decisions that we are making in this budget. The public were not afforded the opportunity to do so when Council passed the arena deal over the summer holidays, and I want people to understand the clear choices that Council is making. We should and will be accountable for the decisions that we make. Our job as government is to make decisions on allocating scarce resources. The resources today are scarcer than they've ever been in my lifetime. As I have previously said, I do not want kids to grow up in a city that subsidizes owners of NHL teams, but ignores those who can't afford a place to live or a way to get around our city. I am at a total loss of how some members of Council can support giving hundreds of millions of dollars to the Calgary Flames and at the same time vote in favor of cutting services to a Calgary Women's Emergency Shelter program that help women increase their safety and establish a life free of family violence and abuse, or the Aboriginal Friendship Centre's program that supports children suffering from intergenerational trauma, or the Alex Food and Wellness program that helps the very poorest in our city access food. The arena is funded by property tax dollars, and when I think about those things that are most important and of most direct benefit to Calgarians, I think about police, fire, transit, housing, and supporting those Calgarians who need our help the most. Funding an arena with property tax dollars and an amorphous return on investment is not our core business. The motion before us today will move the $290 million set aside for the construction of the new arena and go instead to the following city-shaping projects that will provide just as many jobs and a greater direct benefit. $200 million towards the Green Line project, $45 million for the Calgary Police Services Capital Reserve, and $45 million to the Corporate Affordable Housing Reserve. We cannot rely on the province to build our city. Their provincial budget proved that by throwing our fiscal framework in the garbage, hacking out our ability to deliver on the Green Line, and reducing support to our police by a third. Finally, our stock of affordable housing, that is, the assets that we own, need investment badly. I hear from councillors referring to the province's much overused phrase, getting our fiscal house in order, while many in Calgary are struggling to keep their homes, live safe and happy lives, and travel around our great city. Let's focus on what Calgarians are asking for, not what Edmonton wants. Thank you. I mean, it's interesting. I saw that the comments of people's position in 2014 council, and the big difference is that we have money and capital, both capital and operating money, are much, much scarcer than they were in 2014. And in fact, our chief financial officer told us that when council made the decision to approve a funding strategy. The two biggest risks before us when that decision was made that she identified was the challenges of the Green Line project and the provincial budget. And man, oh man, how the world has changed even since July when that decision on the arena was made. I find it really interesting, Councillor Keating, that you said for the Green Line, we shot for the stars and we're going to land on the moon. And there seems to be a certain acceptance that the Green Line vision doesn't matter anymore. And so what I fail to understand is the proponents of the arena got up and made a visionary pitch for what this arena would do. And what I struggle with immensely is why this project is so untouchable when everything else was supposed to be on the table. What is it about this project that makes it untouchable? This was a deal that we had, and it would be breaking that deal when at the same time, proponents of that same comment have asked city workers to take a reduction in their wages and to tear up an agreement that council made around how much money we pay them. But that a deal is a deal on the arena. That the province gutted our Green Line deal, but that's okay because they have to get their financial house in order. But for the Calgary Flames, with an ROI as amorphous as this one, and an ROI in the tax-based return that we will not see because we just extended the CRL, so none of that money will come into the city's operating budget for the next 27 years. That is almost the full lifespan of that building will go back into the CRL, that will be then go back into the neighborhood where the arena is. And so what I'm doing today, and I think it's been greatly successful, is to drive a conversation about priorities. Because cutting programs and services while giving money to an NHL hockey team is the exact same pot of money. It's taxpayers' dollars. It's taxpayers' dollars that pay for our support to those vulnerable people, people that are trying to escape abuse, people that are hungry, people that need help getting around the city.
Time's up, Your Worship.
And those NHL owners who absolutely have the money to build themselves their own building. I hope that council can support this, and I would love a recorded vote.